fact is that it's important for the leaders of these two countries to meet. There are a wide range of issues, despite the differences between us, where both President Trump and President Putin think they may be able to find constructive solutions. I'd like to hear someone say that's a bad idea.
National Security Advisor John Bolton speaking in Russia earlier today following his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The details of a meeting between President Trump and President Putin are expected to be announced tomorrow. Here now to discuss is Michael O Hanlon. He is Brooking Institution Foreign Policy Senior Fellow. Sir, thank you for joining us. You heard what Ambassador Bolton said. He'd like to hear who doesn't think that's a good idea. Are you among those, or you think it's a good idea for these guys to sit down?
No, on this one, I'm with John Bolton and I'm with President Trump. I do think it's a good idea. At the same time, we have to maintain our tough posture towards Russia and the eastern Baltic states and Poland. You know, we have to watch them in Syria and not take their word for anything. They've just violated some pledges not to conduct bombing raids in the south. We know what they did in Western countries in the last 2 or 3 years with elections. So we've got to keep a very vigilant eye. But I agree that there is a benefit to trying to create some ballast in the relationship between the leaders. And I think we are at a sort of unnaturally poor state of U.S.-Russian relations, despite the fact that I don't trust Vladimir Putin, and I think he's caused almost all of the problems between our two countries. Despite that fact, it really shouldn't be a second Cold War. The stakes are not high enough to justify that. The transgressions have not been great enough to justify that. And so even as we push back against Russia in some ways, I think we've got to try to find a way to keep the relationship afloat and keep cooperating where we can.
You said so many interesting things in there that I would like to ask you about. Let me start with the idea of, you said we have to recreate some balance. Where do you see the imbalance right now? Is it an imbalance in strength? I mean, where's the imbalance?
Well, the imbalance is that we are seeing conflicts, active conflicts in Syria and in Ukraine and to some extent in Georgia. And these are pretty much the outskirts of American core strategic security zones or interests. And yet this is sort of what's defining the security relationship. Because Russia has caused these problems, Russia's profited from these opportunities. It's looking for ways to exploit whatever zones of unrest it can find. And so that becomes the dominant news. That becomes the dominant subject for conversation. But if you think about core American strategic interests around the world, these are sort of at the periphery. And I'm not saying they're trivial or unimportant or that I don't care about the people in these countries, but it should not be a place where the world's two nuclear powers come almost to the brink of a new Cold War. So that's what I mean by an imbalance in where we are today.
And so what do you think should be the first thing that they talk about? I mean, are you concerned about the election meddling or about their influence in North Korea? Or why then, if those things aren't the first topic, what do you think should be the first topic?
Well, it's a good question. You know, you mentioned North Korea. Maybe that's a good first topic because it's sort of a friendly topic. It's an example of one place where in recent times and under both President Obama and President Trump, we've seen some U.S.-Russia cooperation. The Russians helped us put Security Council resolutions against North Korea last year and previously had done so during the Obama administration as well. And that's an area where we can sort of celebrate our ability to work together, even though the job is obviously not yet done. And then maybe you work to some tougher issues. And some of the conversations are more philosophical, like you say to Vladimir Putin, you know, what do you really think you're doing in these Western countries where your people are putting out fake news and trying to mess around with elections? You know, what's your goal? What's your end game? Why do you think this is okay? And then there are other places where I would try to start a specific dialogue. For example, I think we need a new understanding about the countries like Ukraine and Georgia in Eastern Europe that NATO has said it wants to include in our alliance. I don't really think that's a good idea, but I also don't think Vladimir Putin should get to dominate those countries. And maybe there has to be a whole new concept for what we think of when we think of that zone of neutral states in Eastern Europe, that they can have their opportunities in economics and diplomacy and their complete freedom, but not join the NATO alliance. And if Vladimir Putin will end his hostilities towards those countries, especially Ukraine and Georgia, maybe we can agree not to bring them into NATO. I would like to see that kind of a discussion begin. It probably can't be resolved in a first summit meeting, but those are the kind of subjects that I think we should be bringing up.
I don't want to cut you off. We're up against a hard break. I hope you'll come back. You have so many great things to say. I'd love to delve deeper into this. Thank you for your time.